Good morning. Today we will start the new chapter, that is the current electricity. Before going to that of the nature of the electricity, that is the flow of the charge, we must know something about what are the current carriers. That current carriers categorize the material and the classification of material that based on the current carrier. Now first material we will take the solid, and on the solid their first one is the conductor. Conductor have the free electron. Metals, conductor are what? That is the metals. They have the free electron. Free electrons. These are the free electrons are the current carrier. These are the current carrier. We know that the free electrons, that means the electrons what are in the valence shell have no affinity with their parent atoms. They can move along the crystal structure and they are moving randomly throughout the structure, throughout the conductor. Like that, if we consider this is the conductor, and in this conductor the electrons are there, these electrons are free, and these free electrons can move randomly here and there. That motion is the random motion. Random motion. Throughout the crystal structure, throughout the conductor. When there is no potential is applied, whenever the potential is applied, on that case these electrons will drifted in a particular direction and opposite to that of the applied field. That is, suppose this is the positive and this is the negative. On that case the field will generate, that is the E vector, electric field. On that particular we have the conductor, and the conductor have the potential of positive and negative. So on that case these electrons get drifted in a particular direction, or we can say that the electrons are moving against the field direction. Charges are moving, negative charges are moving against the field direction. That is the flow of the charge through the cross section area. That is the current carrier. Now we can say that the electrons are the current carrier in a conductor. One thing. Now the second, in case of the solid, that is the insulator. Second is the insulator. Insulators have no free electron. Having no free electron. So on that case they cannot conduct the electricity because they don't have the free electron to move. That is why it is insulator. Now third is the semiconductor. In case of the semiconductor, just take one example. Here it is the silicon atoms, the arrangement of the silicon atom, and we know that the silicon atom has the 4 valencies. On that case, it make a covalent bond together with the another silicon atom. It show the covalent bonding between the another silicon atom, and these covalent bond, when the temperature will rise, these covalent bond will break, and on that case the electron get free. Just observe here what I am doing. These are the covalent bonding and the arrangement of this covalent bond between the silicon atoms at the crystallographic temperature, that is the temperature at which it behaves as an insulator. But whenever the temperature rises, on that case the growth of the temperature increases. On that case this covalent bond breaks, and few of the electrons get free. As the temperature rises, the electron get free due to the breakdown of the covalent bond, and this free electron, and behind that it leaves the hole it leaves the hole. So in the semiconductor, both free electrons and the holes are the current carrier. In a semiconductor, both free electrons and the holes are the current carrier. So this all about the solid, but in case of the liquid that we see, in case of the liquid, generally, or we can say that the few liquids shows the flow of the charge, and that these liquid are known as electrolytes. For example, let's see here. See here, B, that is the liquid, and few of the liquid shows the ions are the current carrier. Ions are the current carrier in ions are the current carrier in a liquid. So on that case, let's suppose there is the voltmeter and it has the electrolyte. This is the electrolyte. This is the electrolyte. Suppose it is H2SO4. Whenever you put the zinc plate as well as the copper plate, on that case there is the charge will move. How it is so? How the charge will generate? For that, this electrolyte breakdown of the H2SO4, that H2SO4 will break, and that become the twice of the hydrogen plus here it is the SO4 2 negative. So there is the ions, formation of the ions which move along the direction of the plates, whatever here, according to the zinc and reaction series copper. So on that case, in case of the zinc further react with the H2SO4, SO4 2 negative, and then the negative charge will move along the zinc. Negative charge will move to negative, it will move towards the zinc plate, and the hydrogen ion that comes in during the reaction, that is positive 2, that 2 positive hydrogen will move along the copper. So ions are the current carrier in case of the liquid, and these liquid are known as electrolyte. Now in case of the gases, generally gases are insulator. But whenever the high potential is applied, on that case again the ions are the current carrier in case of the gases. Gases are insulator. But at high potential difference, on that case, at high potential difference, on that case, the ions are the current carrier. So all about this current carrier, and according to the current carrier we classify the material. In case of the solid, conductor have the free electrons, and we are concerned with the conductor in this particular chapter, that is the current electricity. Now what about the flow of charge? How the charge is flowing in a conductor? So that, and what is the cause behind the flow of the charge? So here, that is current electricity. Just in our discussion, we come to know that the metals, let's suppose this is the metal, and in this metal have the free electrons. And whenever the potential is applied, or we can say that there is the potential difference of something, potential difference of V is applied along this conductor. On that case, these are the free electrons which are earlier free and do not have any affinity with their parent atom. Free electrons. So these free electrons start moving only due to the field is generated here. That is the electric field. This is along the conductor. This electric field produces the electrostatic force. That electrostatic force, of what? That F is equal to Q into the charge Q into E vector. So this electric field is the reason or the cause for the motion of the charged particle, along the field. If we consider the positive charge on our conventional current, positive charges, that positive charge move along the direction of the electric field. Let it be the positive charge Q. That will move along the direction of the electric field, but the electrons will move against the direction of the electric field. So that is how the electrons moves, how the charged particle moves in a conductor. So the reason is that whenever the applied electric field is applied, or electric field is due to the potential is applied along the conductor, on that case these free electrons which are earlier moving randomly will drifted in a particular direction, and that direction of the electron is against to that of the electric field. So this is the flow, how the electron flow in the conductor. Now we are concerned with the current electricity. Here, that current electricity, let's suppose we are consider the cross-sectional area here. That cross-sectional area, along that cross-sectional area the electron is crossing. So just to see here, this is any cross-sectional area, and along this area the charged particle, that is plus Q, charged particle is moving. This charged particle, the motion of the charged particle through any cross-sectional area per unit time, that time is equal to unit per unit time is these are the charged particle. That charged particle perpendicularly crossing the surface area, and that is called the electric current. The current is what? That means the charged particle per unit time Q is equal to Q is by T, that is equal to the current, electric current. That means we can define it, the amount of charge crossing through or moving through the cross-sectional area per unit time is known as electric current. So here we will define the definition of the electric current, that is the flow of the amount of charge flowing through any cross-sectional area per unit time is known as electric current. Or we may write in other ways, in the other words, that is the rate of flow of charge through through any cross section cross-sectional area per unit time is known as current. Now that means there we have seen in the conductor there are the number of cross-sectional areas. So how much charges are moving, that will per unit time, for that will give the magnitude of the current. We can say that for, look here, magnitude of the electric current, that depends upon the number of charge crossing. Let's suppose 5 charge is moving for per unit time. On that case we can say that the current of 5 ampere. And if 15 charges are moving, on that case per unit time, then we can say that the current of 15 ampere. For example, here for this current I is equal to charge to the time, and the time per unit time, that is the unit time, that will give the value of the current, that is equal to the flow of the charge. How much is the charge flow? And it gives the magnitude of the current. What conclusion we come to know? That the flow of the charge through any cross section area perpendicularly, that is the most important, perpendicularly, these are the perpendicular to that of the surface. See, this is the surface, look here. So all these are the perpendicular. So the perpendicularly the charge is crossing the any area of the A through any unit time. On that it will give the current, that will give the current. And the magnitude of the current for unit time, if the current is of 5, the charge is of 5 coulomb, on that case it is the 5 ampere. If it is of the other number, on that case we can say this is equal to per unit time. For the unit time interval, how much charges will move, that will represent the current, and that current, that means the magnitude of the current, that depends upon the number of charge crossing per unit time through any cross section area. Now, what we observe here, that it is the relation of the charge to the time. So the current, note point, that is the important one, it is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. That means the flow of the charge, though it has a direction, it is against the field. The flow of the electron is against the field. If we consider the positive charge, that is along the direction of the field. If we consider the positive charge, it has a direction along the field, electric field. If we consider the negative charge, it has a direction against the field. Though it have a direction, but this is the scalar quantity. Why it is so? Because it does not obey the triangle law of vector addition. We know that the triangle law of vector addition contains 3 things. That is it must be associative law, it must follow the distributive law, it must follow the commutative law. So all the 3 have not been followed by the current, and that's why it is a scalar quantity. Got the point? Though it will move from higher potential to the lower potential, the flow is from higher to lower, or we can say that the flow is either in the field direction or against the field direction, but though it have a direction, it does not have the direction, or is known as the vector quantity, is known as the scalar quantity. Is it so? It is because of it does not obey the triangle law of vector addition. It does not obey the triangle law of vector addition. That means under this triangle law of vector addition, it is not obeying the commutative law, distributive law, associative law. So scalar, it is current is a scalar, or we may say in general that it is the charge is also scalar and time is also scalar, so current is also scalar. For our understanding, actually is what? It is does not obey the triangle law of vector addition. Now next is the, what about the unit of this? Unit of the electric current. So its unit is ampere as named by the scientist. That is the SI unit of electric current is unit of electric current. The SI unit of electric current is ampere, or we may write 1 ampere, that by the symbol it is A, that is equal to 1 coulomb of charge through any cross section area in 1 second. That will represent the 1 ampere, or we may write 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per second. So this is the SI unit, and 1 ampere is defined as, how it is defined as 1 ampere, that is simple. 1 ampere may be defined as 1 ampere, that is the rate of flow, the amount of flow of charge of 1 coulomb, the amount of flow of charge of 1 coulomb through any cross-sectional area in 1 second. That is the amount equal to the 1 ampere. The amount of flow of the charge, the amount of the flow of the charge of 1 coulomb through any cross sectional area in 1 second is equal to 1 ampere. In general, or the practical unit we use is the 1 milliampere, or we can say that smaller unit. 1 ampere, that equal to 10 to the power minus 3 ampere. 1 microampere, that is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 ampere, like that. So all about the unit, and it is scalar, we come to know that. Now we just see that about the direction. We have seen, we know that the direction of this flow of the charge, if along the direction of the electric field, it is the conventional current. It is the conventional current. And so direction of electric current, first of all conventional current, and this conventional current, the direction of the current is along the direction of the direction of the current current, that means the flow of the charge, dhara. Okay, the direction of the current is along the direction of electric field or applied electric field. That is the conventional current. That is the current which we represent as a positive one. So that positive will move. Just you consider this is the potential applied. Here is the potential of positive and negative. On that case, if the flow is from positive to negative, it is conventional. If the electronic current we are discussing, that the electron will move from this, on that case it is electronic current. Now here we will see the electronic current. That means the direction of the electron, the direction of the negative charge, the direction of electron or the negative charges is against the applied electric field. And that about the direction of this. Now applied electric field, this one is the positive and here is the negative. So on that case the field direction is from positive to negative. That is the field direction. So conventional, the charge, that is the positive one, that positive will move from positive to the negative. The direction is like this. For electronic current, the electron will move, the negative will move, the electron will move, and the direction is against the applied electric field. Now here we will write this one. The positive is considered as the high concentration or high potential. That is the high potential, and it is considered as the low potential. So the flow, when we are talking about the conventional, on that case the charge will move from the higher potential to the lower potential. Whereas whenever we are discussing, we are talking about the electron, on that case it will move from the lower potential to the higher potential. All this about the direction of the charge, the direction of the flow of the charge, and according to this, which one is the charge, positive or negative, we name it as a conventional or the electronic current. So this is about the direction, and little bit for the types of current. Now types of current, we see the three general types. One is the STD current, or we may say it as the when potential is constant for the flow of the charge, but that is why it is known as direct current also. Types of current. Now according to these types, first we will consider as the STD current. And for the second, that is variable or varying current. Varying current or variable. Variable current. And here it is alternating. So in this case, the STD current, the amount of the current is constant. Let it be the I. That amount is constant, will not change with the time, in respect to the time. that is x and y. Or we can say that the charge value is constant for the time. So on that case the current is constant, I is constant. Gradually, if we are talking about the varying current or variable current, that means it has the varying character of with the time के respect में time x. We draw like this also, we draw like this also. So this is the case for the varying current, and in this particular alternating current, that means the polarity will change and the magnitude will change as well as the polarity will change. That means this appears like this. Polarity here it is the positive first case, and in the second the current I will change with the time. On that case it is negative, so it is the alternating current. The magnitude changes periodically and the polarity reverse, or the magnitude changes regularly and the polarity reverse periodically is known as alternating current. So these are the types of the current. Steady current, the current value is constant. Varying current, the current is here the polarity will be the same but the magnitude will change. Here both the magnitude as well as the polarity will change, that is the alternating current. So this is about the current. Now all about the current. So we come to the conclusion that the current is what? That is the flow of the charge through any cross-sectional area per unit time is known as electric current. Perpendicularly any charge will cross is known as electric current. In the next section, in the next class, we will discuss about the current density and all other characters.